I guess, is over there in London, right? 1 a.m. in London, and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome to our show here. That we're here each week. It's called Talk Back Live, and we're here each and every Thursday at this time, and we bring you great conversation. And the purpose of the show to get you roped in, bring you in, and get you in conversation with us. Anything that you want to talk about, we're here for you. We'll talk about it. We talk about anything from sports, politics, your cats, your dogs, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever conversation you want to bring up. Because what I do is that I start off the conversation, and when I'm completed with it and you're out there and you want to talk about something else, all you have to do is just type it in. I will see it. I will definitely see it, because when I do see it, I will acknowledge you and say, okay, let's get on to that. And if you don't like the subject that I throw out there, but just let me know in advance and we'll jump right on it. We'll do anything. This is your show, and we're going all in together. Thank you so much for being along with us. I want to say hello to all of my friends coming out of Facebook. They're watching us on Facebook. Thank you so much. And of course, we can't forget our friends on YouTube. YouTube is out there too. So guys, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to spend this next hour together. Later on in the program, as usual, Brian Camp will be along with the latest developments in today's world of sports. We call that Sports Update. And there's a lot to talk about in sports. There's so many things. And, since the pandemic started to subside, a lot of things are happening, getting back to normal, at least some part of normalcy. For instance, you go to the baseball games, the crowds are out there, and, people are going to get their popcorn, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, the whole 9 yards, so they can get out there and enjoy. And concerts are starting to happen again, and people, you wouldn't believe, I walk out, and this afternoon I took a walk in New York, and I noticed, prior to everyone wearing their mask, they're kind of shedding now. People are starting to shed. Slowly but surely, they're taking their time. People, and I would assume and I would hope that they're all vaccinated, fully vaccinated. Therefore, they don't have to wear their mask, because science says now you can walk around without your mask. But, the good thing is to keep your mask with you at all times, even if you're not wearing it. Keep your mask with you at all times. Why? Well, let's say, for instance, if you're going to take the subway or the bus, or you're going to be in close quarters with a lot of people that you don't know may and may not be vaccinated, but you have no way of knowing that. You want to make sure you protect yourselves. Now, for those of you who didn't get vaccinated, fully vaccinated, well, we urge you to do so. And if you're not vaccinated right now, well, you continue to follow all the protocols that are needed to protect yourselves. Keep wearing the mask. Practice the 6 feet distance from everyone else until that time. Then you get your vaccination. And we hope that you do that soon. We hope that you do that soon, because it's very important. And the quicker that you do that, the faster we can flatten this thing completely. A lot of people are on the fence. They're still thinking, well, for whatever reasons, they don't want to take the vaccination. Could be religious reasons, could be personal reasons, medical reasons, I don't know. But if you're able to do so, please do it right away. All you have to do is just go to your local pharmacist. Maybe your doctor have a supply of vaccines. Anywhere you can go, they have centers that supply that. And so please go out and do it. It's very important. Now, speaking of that, let me give that little hand clap, that hearty hand clap that I do each week. And of course, that hand clap is for you, because you're joining us. Thank you so much for that. But that hand clap is also for all of the important people like yourself, the doctors, lawyers, I say lawyers, they may have a hand in this, Anyway, the doctors, the nurses, all hospital personnel, all of those people, right, who have been with us for all of this time since the pandemic has been going on. And of course, we can't forget our first responders, the firefighters, the police officers. They're all doing a marvelous job. They were with us from the beginning, and they're still with us. And we hope that they continue to be with us, because it's very important that they stay with us. We salute them each week, because we're not over with the pandemic yet. It's just subsiding. Until we get it out all together, we're going to continue to salute those people. And also, while we're at it, make sure that we give you information on how you can get vaccinated or where they go to get the test. If you're not vaccinated and you think you need the test, everything is free. It's all free. And in most cases, you don't have to have an appointment. Now, I passed a pharmacist yesterday in Midtown here in Manhattan, and I did notice that on the sign on the door it says appointment only, but that's just a few of them. Most of the time, you don't have to have an appointment. So please keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you have to have an appointment, whatever it takes, just do it. Now, we already have 3 vaccines on the market that's available to all of you, right? We have the one-shot vaccine, which is called Johnson and Johnson, J&J, and we have the 2 vaccines, which is Moderna and Pfizer. Now, you can take any one of those, and if you're not in the mood for taking 2 shots, well, I guess J&J would be your best, but for the other ones, Moderna and Pfizer, those require 2 shots. And let me tell you something. I feel happy about it since I've been vaccinated. My second dose happened April 1st. It's a long time ago, and I still feel great. I don't feel any different from anybody else. Everybody's doing well. And I talked to some of the people that I know who have been vaccinated, and they say the same thing. They're all feeling great. So please take that. And what you want to do too. Here's another thing that you might want to do. You might want to look up. If you're watching us on Facebook, look up in the subject area, right? Wherever that may be, and however you're watching the show, it could be up here at the top, it could be over here, it could be over here, it could be depending on how you're watching. Anyway, the information's there, and it has that information where it tells you the name of the show. As you can see it up there, here's the name of the show and today's date, and underneath that, you have what they call a COVID-19 test. And next to it is a telephone number. And that number is going to always be there each week as I bring the show to you. That number is 718-638-7682. Easy number to remember. Jot it down, take it down. And some people who don't get to watch this show in real time, they come back and watch the rerun. The number would still be up there. For all of the information that I give you, it's always going to be up there each show. So take that number down. Now, when you take that number, it's a New York number. It's a local New York number. And that number, of course, will give you information, even if you're from a different state, different town or something. I am pretty sure they can advise you someplace on where to go or give you a number that's local to you. And then even if you know your local number, that's good, because all you have to do is just call them and tell them if you have questions about COVID-19, they will be able to give you the answer. If you want to know where to go nearest to you to get vaccinated or where to get tested. And the test, by the way, is only a quick 5 seconds once you go in there. It's a quick 5 seconds. And but if you're fully vaccinated, I don't think you have to worry about the test too often, unless, of course, you're really that up on it that you really think that you need it. If you get a symptom or something which may not even be the case, but you want to make sure the vaccination is still free, the test is still free, all of that is free to you. So all you have to do is just go right in there. And again, as I said before, for most places now, you don't need an appointment. Just walk right in. But if you need an appointment, that's just as good. Just take the appointment and run with it, as they always say. And so there you go. So that number again is 718-638-7682. If you're living in New York City, another place, another number that I tell you, it's a 3-digit number that even when the tourists come into town, they want to, know where all of these hot spots are with the movie theaters, Yankee Stadium, or City Field. You want to know how to get there, you get information. It's a lot of information. It's a New York number for the city. And all you have to do is call them. 311. You can do anything with that number. You can call up and make a complaint if you see a broken street or something, a deep pothole, and you don't want to walk there the next time around and fall in it. You want to make sure you report it right away, and you just tell them the location, and they will send someone out there to fix it for you. If you have a noisy neighbor in your building who refuses to keep the noise going, keep the party rolling, and you're trying to get some sleep, and if your landlord, your landlady, or management, if there's nothing they can do about it or unwilling to do anything about it, you give them a call and let them know what the deal is, and they can give you some kind of information. So all of the information is great. Now, again, if you want to know where to get the vaccinations, I already gave you the number. You got the 311 number. You got the 718 number. I just gave you that. You could also go online. If you're New York City's residents only, go online. And I'm pretty sure wherever you are across the country, around the world, you have local numbers and websites where you are. But here's one, since I'm in New York, here's one for all of you New Yorkers. If you're looking someplace to go to get vaccinated, that address is NYC vaccinelist.com. That's nycvaccinelist.com. All you have to do is go online and they give you information which is nearest to you. Now, all you have to do is just tell them your zip code, because since New York City is broken down in 5 boroughs, that doesn't mean you have to go out of your borough to get the vaccination. All you have to do is just call and say, hey, my zip code is blah, 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 blah. And you get that zip code and they look at it. You're from Brooklyn, you're from Staten Island, from wherever you are in one of those boroughs. You don't have to leave your borough. They say, okay, I got your zip code. There's one right around the corner from you or down the block, or a couple of them. And I'm fortunate to have about 2 or 3 of them in my area. And I'm talking about places where you can get tested, So, all that information is in mind. And again, for the sake of repeating myself again, remember all of the information I just gave you, the numbers, they're up there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, it's in the chat area. You look at that chat area. It's way at the top, the very top of the chat area. And check it out. So there you go. It's now 12 minutes past the hour right now. And just in case you're just joining us, it's the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And we're talking back live, and you and I all together. And thank you so much for being along with us. Later on in the program, also, I am going to give you my picks of the week. I'm going to give you my picks of the week of the movies that I think you're going to like, all classic movies. I love those classic movies. And I have that coming along. It won't be too far away. Also, I will give you updates this day in history. I'm going to run down a couple of events this day in history. So many things are happening along with that. And of course, you two are here, and so am I. Maybe millions of people go by. Well, you get the idea. So anyway, since you're here, thank you so much for being along with us. And please, if you have something to say, don't be shy. Excuse me. You ever swallow your own saliva? Just happens. Anyway, embarrassing too. Anyway, if you're joining us and you don't want to say anything, just as long as you're out there, that's the most important thing. Just as long as you're out there. And we really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. So that's it. Okay, here's some information. I don't like talking about people's deaths and things like that, but this is not necessarily new news anyway. It's old news. It's just that we are here only one time the week, every Thursday. So events happen, but we want to repeat that so you don't forget. Film and TV actor Ned Beatty. Remember Ned Beatty, who was Oxford. No, he was Oscar nominated for his supporting role in Network, that film, The Network. Remember Network? And he appeared in a number of most sophisticated. There we go. I gotta get this out. All right, let me try it again. Okay, let me read that. There's my cue card right there. It says film and TV actor Ned Beatty, who was Oscar nominated for his support in the role of Network and appeared in a number of most significant American films for the 1970s. He had died. He passed away this week. Causes, well, there were natural causes, according to what I see here. Natural causes, and he died at the age of 83. Ned Beatty, boy, he was some kind of actor. He was really great. Actress, and you probably heard about this. This happened right here in my hometown of New York City, right here. Actress Lisa Baines, who played in Gone, Gone Girl, and Cocktail with Tom Cruise. Well, she passed away this week. 10 days before she passed away, she was hit by a motor scooter in New York. It was a hit and run case. I hope they find that guy. They didn't find him yet, I don't think. Anyway, she died from that. She got hit by a motor scooter. She's off to see some friends, crossing the street. Motor scooter hit her and just kept on going. Right here in our town of New York City, and she was only 65 years old. That's Lisa Baines. So our condolences and all of our prayers to their family, friends, colleagues, and everyone who have worked with them. Colleagues, okay, and their fans too, just as well. We want to wish our condolences to each and every one of them. So thank you so much for that. Again, if you're just joining us, here we are once again. It's Talk Back Live. Frank Allen here with you. Brian Camp will be here in just a minute or so. But I want to say, first of all, also, I want to say, this is the greatest news of today. Happy Juneteenth, 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 Teenth, Juneteenth, right? Teen, like teenth, Juneteenth. What do you know? President Biden signed a bill today to make it a national holiday, and it's long overdue. It's long overdue. It's making it a national holiday, and of course, you know that faithful year, June 19th, which is the actual day, June 19th, back in 1865. That was 156 years ago, when slavery was abolished. You know, but here's something else: those people in Texas were kept on 2 years after that. So they were just trying to keep things going. But we want to thank President Biden for that, for signing that bill. A lot of people objected to it, but they passed it. And so as of now, June 19th is officially a holiday. It's a national holiday now. So, and as a matter of fact, I think people are going to be celebrating tomorrow. Now, the actual date, the 19th, is Saturday, but I would imagine people will be celebrating tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens with that. And we're waiting for Brian. Brian was on the phone. I think we lost him. But he'll be back. So anyway, so that date is the 19th, which is Saturday, the 19th Saturday. And but people are probably be celebrating tomorrow. I don't know if people are going to go to work after the bill was passed. You know, after the bill was passed, people are going to work, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. See how many people take off from work. Brian is back on the line, and here he is with the latest developments in today's world of sports. How you doing, Brian?
Good evening to you. Good evening to all. And yes, I saw that on today about the president signing that
yes,
the Juneteenth as a national holiday.
Yes.
Yes, of course, a lot of people objected as expected.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
yes, congratulations to President Biden for doing this. And you know, we still got a long way to go for change. If the people that still object to things like this, then you know that we're still a long way from being a unified nation.
Well, you know what they say about karma, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So we'll leave it at that.
Yes. But it's a beautiful day out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's 82 degrees, and it's been a very nice day today. It's going to be even warmer this weekend. And, you know, hello to all, everybody out there. Yeah. So I'm going to get right to sports. In the NHL, as I mentioned last week, the NHL Canadian government reached agreement for cross-border travel ahead of the Stanley Cup semifinals. This is, as you know, Canada was not allowing any American sports athletes and games to be played coming into Canada because of COVID-19 protocol. But the teams must arrive with private planes and will be subjected to daily COVID playing the Montreal Canadiens, and the New York Islanders are playing I believe they're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's the Final Four right now for hockey. In the NBA, Phoenix Suns point guard Chris Paul has entered the NBA's health and safety protocol and is out indefinitely. That's a big shocker because Chris Paul is 36 years of age, and he's been trying to get to a championship, to play in a championship and win a title. He is the president of he's the president representative for the union's NBA Players Association. So he's out. Now, what may be in his favor is his stay may not be as long as people may think it would be, because he is fully vaccinated, but he still has to test negative to 2 COVID tests coming up. But as far as I know, he is fully vaccinated, so we're gonna wait and see what's gonna happen the next 2 days. The conference final, the Western Conference Finals will start either Sunday or Tuesday, depending on what happens tomorrow night as the Clippers and the Utah Jazz will play Game 6. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. Major League Baseball pitchers will be ejected and suspended for 10 days for games for using illegal foreign substances. This is what they're doing to doctor baseballs in a crackdown by the Major League Baseball that will start this coming Monday, or next Monday, I should say. Repeat offenders will receive progressive disciplinary, and teams and club employees will be subject to discipline for failure to comply. Now, umpires will perform periodic checks of all starting and relief pitchers on both teams throughout the game. So they could just decide, timeout, let me go check the pitcher, and let's see what happens, let me see if he got anything. So this is a random thing. So pitchers and relief pitchers got to be careful. Pitchers will be responsible for foreign substance found on catchers and position players. So got to be mindful that the pitchers are really at stake here, because even if the position players, which are first, second, third base, and outfielders, even if they have it, and catchers, then the pitcher's responsible unless it is totally something different. So if it's like a shut and close case where the position players may have the foreign substance. That's been going on for the beginning of time for baseball. You had the spit ball, they scuff up the ball. So this is nothing new, but this is something a new name for it now. So the Arizona Diamondbacks will unveil a gold uniform with referencing trying to say this right, the Sonoran Desert and the state Hispanic culture as the latest alternate jersey in the city Connect collection. Now, what that means is they will honor the Hispanic heritage. So they would debut their uniforms, in fact, tomorrow against the LA Dodgers, and plan to wear them 6 more times, including as I just mentioned, the Hispanic Heritage Week from September 24th through 26th, which includes Roberto Clemente Day. So they're honoring the Latin players and the Latin countries who play Major League Baseball. So this is something that they're doing, and congratulations. Women's gymnastics. USA Gymnastics announced last Friday Diane Durham will be inducted into the 2021 Hall of Fame. Now, 38 years ago, after she became the first black gymnast to win the senior national championship, and 4 months after her death at the age of 52. So they're paying homage to her in 2021. So she died at a very early age, a young age, at age 52. So congratulations to her. College football, men's college football, will consider expanding the current sport 14-field that will meet. Now, this format will meet in Chicago next week. What they're trying to do, they have the final four. It's the four best teams of the year, and they usually have a tournament. Whoever wins the first one through four, I mean 1 and 4, will play against the winner of the 2 and 3 position. But now they're trying to expand it for 12 teams now. So this will be another historical change for sports postseason. So this day, June 17th, 1960, Ted Williams hits his 500th career home run in route to Boston Red Sox win. In 1976, the ABA. Remember the ABA? Yes,
That's right.
The ABA, the red, white, and blue ball.
Yeah.
The Nets, Pacers, Nuggets, and Spurs merges into the NBA. The history on that. The 7th season, the ABA had their own league. It was the American Basketball Association, but they was competing against the NBA, and they ran out of funds, and money was a situation where they could not compete with the NBA, so they merged, and in 1976, that's what happened. They merged together, so they only took the 4 teams, and they only lasted 7 seasons. In 1978, Ron Guidry sets a New York Yankee record with 18 strikeouts. I remember that game. That was on a Saturday. I remember that game so well. In 1992, the Philadelphia 76ers trade Charles Barkley to the Phoenix Suns. In 1994, many of you probably heard today, if you've been on social media, but this is the day when O.J. Simpson doesn't turn himself into murder charges. This was the famous chase on the highway. The LA police has chased his Ford Bronco for an hour and a half before he eventually gives it up. I will not talk about any more about that, but we all know what happened with the outcome. 2008, the NBA Finals, Boston Celtics beat the LA Lakers in Game 6 for their 17th overall championship. Paul Pierce wins Finals MVP. 2 years later, in 2010, the LA Lakers beat the Boston Celtics. These two teams played again. And this time, the Lakers came out with an 83-79 for the franchise 16th NBA title. Kobe Bryant was Finals MVP. So that's sports.
Oh boy, the ABA. I remember the ABA very well. I've been. Have you ever been to an ABA game?
I've never been to an ABA game. I don't think it's hard. You can't find too many people that've been to an ABA game because the league was so. It was only for, like I said, only 7 seasons. It was only for 7 years.
Yeah.
And it wasn't out long enough. So but I remember my first basketball was it was an ABA ball. It was a red, white, and blue basketball.
Yeah. And something, I've been to an ABA game once. And the only reason why I went to that game, because like you said, you don't know how to get in there. You don't know unless you know someone. Mr. Whitney. Remember Mr. Whitney? Mr. Whitney was a coach. He was a coach, but he was a school teacher too at that public school 196 years ago. Oh, this is probably before your time. Well, Mr. Whitney, everybody loved Mr. Whitney. Mr. Whitney was a coach, but he was also a player on the ABA, and he got together all of us boys, all of the kids, and say, "Hey, you want to go to the game? You want to see a game? I'm playing, playing it." I said, "Yeah, right." No one ever been to an ABA game, and so he chartered us a bus, got on the bus, went there, saw the game, and then he chartered us back. It was great. One time, that's the only. So at least I could say I've been to an ABA game.
Wow, that's a great experience.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
Wow.
And
it was a league that was scored a lot of points. They didn't really play that much defense, but it was a lot of scoring. They had Dr. J used to be on there, Rick Barry, Moses Malone, George Gervin, George McGinnis, and Roger Burns. So many artists. Gilmore. There was a lot of people that played in the ABA, then went into the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they called that semi-pro ball. It was semi-pro. That's how they used to say they were semi-pro ball at the time. You talk about
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson. I know exactly where I was when I saw that chase. I was I was having a couple of brewskis at this bar, me and some friends, and they had the chase on the TV, but they treated it like it was some sport. As the chase was going on, people like clapping, saying "Go, go, go!" It's like it was some kind of sport. So yeah, I remember exactly where I was when that chase was on.
I remember where I was. I was watching Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It was the New York Knicks against the Houston Rockets, I believe, or the San Antonio Spurs, one of them. And it was, they was looking at the game, and they got the nerve to interrupt the NBA Finals for a breaking news about O.J. Simpson. I was screaming at the television, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And not knowing that it's one of the, it was a famous chase.
Yeah.
It led to two people being slaughtered and killed, and prayers still go out to the families of the victims and everything. I'm not going to say who, if he was guilty or not guilty. It was, it was just a sad day.
It was.
During that time. And that's also the time that the New York Rangers also won the Stanley Cup. And they had a parade, too. That was on a Friday evening.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a Friday evening,
It was. I remember that. I remember that. Before you go, Brian, I got to ask you. People are still taking precautions with pandemics going on, and it's still not complete yet. But I noticed, so I took a walk today outside. It was beautiful here in New York today. It was nice and warm and not a cloud in the sky. And people are walking around. I see more people now unmasked now. They're kind of like slowly but surely, taking their mask off. And the ones that are wearing their mask, they keep it down under their nose, maybe if they're drinking a soda or something, What about you? What do you think? You still exercising your mask?
I don't exercise in my mask because when I exercise in the morning, I'm home in my garage. But when I take my evening walk, I put my mask in my pocket unless if I'm being approached.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. But other than that, I take it with me when I'm going to a store. I put my mask on. And, even if I'm going to a neighbor's house, either I keep my mask on or I just talk from a distance.
Yeah.
And I said distance is like usually 50 feet away. Yeah. But I'm outdoors, so I just still be very careful about what I do, especially now with this new virus that's out now. So we got to be very careful because we're not out of the woods yet. They're just hoping that the virus, the vaccine that we have will just fend off this here new virus that's coming out now.
Yeah.
And they're out in the southern states. I know they're out in the Carolinas out here, both north and south.
Yeah.
Carolina, but it's a virus that's out now. So being very, very careful. I still wear my mask, and I think everybody should.
Yeah.
When I go to the store, I see a lot of people without any mask on.
Yeah. Well, it's like if I'm outdoors, sometimes if I want to take it off, I take it off. But, like you say, if someone approaches you, you get that close, it's all right. At least carry. I always encourage people, even if you're not going to wear a mask, carry it with you anyway. Like here in New York, you must carry it with you because people ride the bus. And by the way, I'm starting to take the bus again. So little by little.
What kind of experience is that like?
Yeah, well, I know. It's little by little. I'm trying to take it in, All right, Brian, thanks a lot. We'll catch you tomorrow on the coffee hour.
All right, take care.
Take care of yourself. That was Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports update. And of course, he'll be with us tomorrow on the coffee hour. DJ Pete won't be along with us tomorrow because DJ Pete, he's going to have that day off, but he sent me his material, which I'll be filling in for him. But anyway, Brian will be here tomorrow. His part of the 2020 feature, and I'll do the second half of the 2020 feature, the latest developments in today's world of sports. It is called Sports Update. And just in case you're just joining us, thank you for being along with us. It's Talk Back Live. I'm Frank Allan. And if you're just joining us for the very first time, don't make it your last time. Come back again and again and enjoy us, and you have the best of both worlds. If you don't catch us on Facebook, we're also on YouTube. So I want to say all the guys, hello, Facebook, hello, YouTube. Thank you guys for being along with us. And hey, speaking of DJ Pete, hey, hi DJ Pete, how you doing? We're just talking about you, man. I was just talking about you. Yeah. DJ Pete monitors. He wants to see if everything's on the up and up here. So yeah, so that's what's happening. And so all of you guys and watching us on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much for being along with us. And that will be it. Okay. It's what time is it now? Oh, we're moving up pretty quickly. So we've got 23 minutes to the hour right now. 23 minutes to the hour. And it's you and I against the world until the top of the hour. Okay, folks, on this day in history, in 1856, the Republican Party opens its first national convention in Philadelphia. Do you remember that? In 1885, the Statue of Liberty arrived here in New York City on a French ship. And that was years ago. So that's how the Statue of Liberty got here. We got that from France. It wasn't always there. We got it from France. Okay. On this day in history, in 1898, the United States Navy Hospital Corps is established. On this day in history, in 1928, Amanda Earhart leaves a Newfoundland to become the first woman as a passenger to fly the Atlantic, and the passenger was a pilot by the name of Wilma Stultz. Wilma Stultz was the pilot. So women were like doing their thing back then. On this day in history, in 1940, France asked Germany for terms to surrender in World War II. That's WW2, the big one. So says Archie Bunker. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. On this day in history, in 1947, Pan Am Airways, that's the airline, has charted the first worldwide passenger airline. On this day in history, in 1956, Golda Meir begins her term as Israel's foreign minister. On this day in history, in 1966, the Supreme Court rules against Bible reading and prayer in public schools. I wonder how that's going now. I always thought that was wrong. On this day in history, in 1967, Barbra Streisand performs in Central Park. In 1968, the Ohio Express, Yummy, 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 goes gold. Remember that song? Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy. In 1969, the play Old Calcutta opens in New York City. On this day in history, in 1970, Led Zeppelin began their last European tour. In 1971, and I'm very partial to her because she's a Brooklyn girl, Carole King's album Tapestry goes to number 1 on the U.S. album chart and stays there for 15 weeks. Now, Tapestry was, as far as I'm concerned, and I love Carole King, as far as I'm concerned, she could not top that album. She outdid herself. But then again, she doesn't have to worry about working anymore because she lives off her royalties. Everybody's recording her songs, that she wrote. But yeah, the Tapestry, that was the best album, the best Carole King album ever. And she outdid herself when she recorded that back in 1971. All right. In 1973, Dolly Parton records her song, I Will Always Love You, later became a big hit with Whitney Houston, and she recorded that song on the RCA label in Nashville, Tennessee. On this day in history, in 1982, the U.S. President Ronald Reagan, made his first General Assembly address, and his quote was, "We must serve mankind through genuine disarmament." That was Ronald Reagan. In 2009, The 43rd CMT Music Awards were won by Taylor Swift and Brad Paisley. Newt Gingrich was born on this day in 1943 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He's 77 years old today. Barry Manilow, of course, one of the greatest songwriters and singers of our time. Barry Manilow, born on this day in 1943 in Brooklyn, New York. There's another Brooklyn boy, and he's 77 years old today. Joe Piscopo, comedian Joe Piscopo, was born on this day in 1951. Joe Piscopo comes out of New Jersey, and he's 70 years old today. Joe Piscopo, very talented comedian too. Great entertainer. He does a lot of imitations too. Venus Williams, tennis pro Venus Williams, born on this day in 1980, and she was born in Linwood, California. She's 40 years old today. Erin Murphy, American actress. She plays Tabitha. She was a little girl, a little baby. Played Tabitha on Bewitched, was born on this day. She's 57 years old. She was born in California. Let's see, 1950, U.S. General Attorney Robert F. Kennedy gets married to Ethel Schackel. Yeah. Let me see. Did I pronounce that? Skakel. That's Skakel. Skakel. Okay. Anyway, now she becomes Ethel Kennedy anyway, and they were married in St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church in Greenwich, Connecticut. On this day in history, 1962, actor Jack Nicholson gets married to Sandra Knight in Los Angeles, California. In 1977, U.S. Senator Joe Biden of Delaware weds teacher Jill Jacobs. That was her maiden name, Jill Jacobs, at the chapel in the UN in New York City. And they're still married today. May God bless them both, all of those years together. In 1983, singer and actor Glenn Frey gets married to Janie Beggs. In 1997, actress and she was actress Grace Hanover. Yeah, she was an actress. Would you believe that she was an actress? But you didn't even really hear too much of her. She got married to Robert De Niro, and they were married in Marbletown home. At the Marbletown home. On this day in history, 1988, Bruce Springsteen gets separated from Jenny Phillips, Julianne Phillips, that's his wife's name. Remember Rodney King? Rodney King passed away on this day in 2012. He was 47 years old, and he was born April 2nd, 1965 in Sacramento, California. He was the one that said and asked, with so much compassion and so much conviction, can't we all get along? And that's what's happening on this day in history. If you happen to know anything that's happening in history that I didn't speak of, or maybe you know personally, pass it along and we'll certainly read it off to you. Thank you again for joining us. And of course, it's the Talk Back Live, the name of the show. And my name is Frank Allan, and of course we're going to be here for another 15 minutes. 16 minutes. 60 minutes to the hour right now. We'll be here for another 16 minutes with all of that. So thank you so much for being along. If you haven't had a chance to check out my podcast, and I'm slow with this thing, I'm still trying to, things are so slow, things are busy, and we're trying to get more guests and things like that. But in the meantime, I do have a podcast, and I'm not going to let it die. It's called The Blue Cafe. The Blue Cafe, all you have to do, if you're watching on Facebook, go up there in the area, down at the very bottom, you'll see it says Blue Cafe, and underneath that, it has the direct link. You can go there and check it out. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's up there in the chat area. Look in the chat area. It's right there. And you can go there and check out the interviews I had. I did 3 interviews so far. And I know it's been a long time. It was in April since I did the last one with Bobby Rydell, which is a good one. But if you haven't had a chance to check it out, check it out. It could be new to you. And then I also did one with Jimmy Clanton and Bobby Wilson, who's the son of Jackie Wilson. So that's my show. I'll tell you more about that before we go off the air. That's called The Blue Cafe, and you can check it out. might think about get some of those interviews on the radio too. Anyway, thank you so much. I see more people coming in, so I just want to say hi to all of you guys once again out there who are watching us on Facebook and all of you guys on YouTube. That's the way we swing it now. You know, we used to do this radio thing, but radio is not good to us anymore. At least on Facebook. Facebook. Can someone tell me about Facebook? Do you get Pete? If you're still there, maybe you know. You know why I can't get the radio part of it anymore. Brian tried it on his cell phone. He got something different. See, when I tried on my cell phone, it's like, oops, something happened. You know, it's like I can't get it anymore. You have the option of switching from audio to video, from video to audio. Anyway, well, we'll stick with this. This is great. You know, we have so many things to talk about, but here's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. I was talking about Archie Bunker, and the reason why they came out is because I enjoyed his acting so much, especially when he was doing All in the Family, which, by the way, still are in reruns. Anywhere you go, you can watch it. And here's the thing: before I go to bed at night, and I go to bed late. These days, I've been going late, but I get up at a reasonable hour. All right. They show 4 episodes of All in the Family back to back on Get TV. You ever watch Get TV? Do you have Get TV? That's GET, Get TV. Comes on that channel. And here in New York Eastern Time, right, it starts at 11 p.m. So you got 2 hours of All in the Family, 11 to 1 a.m. I just thought I'd throw it out there. I don't know. Anyway, what do we have left for you? Okay, so we've got, I want to tell you about the movies. Now, you like those old classic movies? Well, I've got them for you. Those old classic movies. And I think you like them. I think you like it. The great movies, then all come, and these are my picks, by the way. And I have, let's see, how many do I have this week? Let's see. Okay, I got a long list here, but it's not all movies. Okay, so I have, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 picks this week. And they're all classic movies. The first one, you can check out if you're not doing anything this weekend. Everything is on the weekend, so you can check it out on Sunday. Judge Hardy and Son with Mickey Rooney. That's a classic back in 1939. Judge Hardy and Son with Mickey Rooney, and that's on Turner Classic Movie. That comes on this Sunday at 12 p.m. That's 12 noon, lunchtime, and all Eastern. Everything I'm telling you is Eastern. So that's 12 noon London. That's Judge Hardy and Son with Mickey Rooney. Then you have Life with Father with William Powell back in 1947. There's another classic on Turner Classic Movies. Comes on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Father of the Bride with Spencer Tracy and Elizabeth Taylor back in 1950. This is the original one, not the one with, not the updated one with Steve. I can't think. Steve. Who was in that movie? The original one. No, well, not the original one. Can't remember who was in that movie. But anyway, this is the 1950 version. Father of the Bride with Spencer Tracy and Elizabeth Taylor, 1950. That comes on Turner Classic Movie again on Sunday. This Sunday, 6:15 p.m. Eastern. So that's a great one. I love that movie too. It's a nice comedy. And finally, here's one of my favorites right here. I'm very partial to this movie, Pride of the Yankees with Gary Cooper back in 1942. And that's on Turner Classic Movie. That comes on Sunday as well, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you sit back, relax, have some popcorn, pop some popcorn in a microwave, and sit back and relax as if you were in a ball game. That's Pride of the Yankees. So you have 4 great movies coming along. And I'll repeat them. There's Judge Hardy and Son with Mickey Rooney from 1939. That's Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. You have Life with Father with William Powell, 1947. And that's Turner Classic on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Father of the Bride with Spencer Tracy and Elizabeth Taylor back in 1950. That's TMC as well, and that's Sunday at 6:15 p.m. And of course, not last but not least, but you have The Pride of the Yankees with Gary Cooper, 1942, all Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's 10 minutes to the hour. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to be here for the next coming up 9 minutes. And of course, we want to make sure that all of you are around. In case you're just joining us once again, more people come in. So I want to say all of you guys, let's see. What is, let me see who we got here. Sorry, I have. Okay, so Pete has no idea about what I was asking him about the telephone. He probably doesn't have any idea what I'm talking about because I didn't explain it too well. I guess if I were on the phone with you and I just ran down on what to do, maybe you could check it out for me. Anyway, Brian says at least he says he's my all-time favorite sitcom show, which I assume is All in the Family. All in the Family with Archie Bunker. The first time, Brian, the first time when that first came out, people were up in arms about that show. That show, I mean, Archie Bunker, and we're talking about Carol O'Connor, I'm talking about Archie Bunker, all-time bigot. But his bigotry went beyond just blacks. His bigotry was like, he didn't like anyone. I mean, he had a name for everybody. He used ethnic names. And then and in the beginning, it didn't sit too well with a lot of people. And still, today, it doesn't sit too well with a lot of people. But when you look at it, we're laughing at everybody. We're laughing at each other, and and the reason why I get a kick out of that show is because it just doesn't. Archie Bunker doesn't. He just doesn't like anyone. He doesn't like blacks. He doesn't like Irish people. He doesn't like Puerto Ricans. And he his son-in-law, the meathead, straightens him out about that, because his son-in-law, the meathead, who happens to be an atheist, but he's also a liberal, and he straightens Archie about that. But I look at that show, and Edith Bunker, who is known as the Deanbat, but you can't say that today. But she was known in the show as the Dingbat. But something, I think every man would love to have a wife like Edith Bunker. I'll tell you why. I say that. The reason why I think a lot of guys would like to have a wife like Edith Bunker, minus being her ditzy, but she loves her family. No matter what they do, that arguing and that bickering, she always has an advice for her family members. All that arguing goes out the door. She runs and grabs Archie. Oh, Archie, how was your day? How many men have wives that will come up to you and say, how was your day? I hope you all do. And she runs over to Archie. She says, how was your day? And when Archie gets out of line, that Deanbat goes out the door and she'll tell him off, And I think with Archie Bunker, as nutty as he is, he's uneducated, stupid. Archie Bunker loves his family too, even though he may shrug it off, but I think he loves his family too. And I think he loves the meathead. Let's see. T. Pete says, hi, son-in-law. He calls him the meathead. Yeah, he calls him the meathead. And the meathead, he's an atheist, but he's liberal, And then you have the next door neighbors, as Archie Bunker calls them, the Cullets, the Jeffersons. Excuse me, guys. Archie calls them the Cullets next door. And I don't know. I guess I'll always love that show because it just keeps me laughing. For those of you who have a problem with it, I can understand. You may still have a problem with that show. But I got to enjoy the show because it just didn't get on one particular ethnic race. Now, I would never say that they should try to do something like that today. You know, especially the way things are today. Because that was back then. That was back then in the 70s. You know, when they did those shows, and it took a lot of gall to do that. Norman Lear, that was his baby. You know, it took a lot of him to come up with that concept. But today, I would say no. We don't need that kind of show on TV. Not to update anything like that, because things are out of hand as it is right now, and people get the wrong idea. And there are some shows that I watch on TV where I say, you know, something they could have found a better character to do that. There's certain characters I watch on TV, and I said, nah, it's not 1950s anymore. You can change that. You can come out of that wacky character and be someone. You know, it's just like for black actors and actresses, right? Back in the old days, they were butlers and maids and chauffeurs and things like that. You know, and and I like to see and I've seen the progress over the years where black actors are turning down parts that they don't believe in. If it's one of those parts where it's stereotyped, they won't take them. And I know one actor, for example, who will not turn down. He will turn down a role if he doesn't believe it, which is Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington, yeah, he's one. And the late Cicely Tyson, God rest her, didn't take a role that was stereotypical. Never took it. Turned them down. No question about it. No, I'm not taking it. Never took it. And so I like to see when black actors and actresses, they come up and not just do it for the money, but you know, you got dignity to hold up. You know, hold up your dignity. Okay, let's see. Brian says, remember he kissed Sammy Davis? Yeah, that was a funny one. That was a funny episode. Sammy Davis comes to the house because Sammy Davis left his briefcase in Munson's cab, which Archie was driving. And he had to go to the house to pick it up. And you got to see all of them. They all. And if you don't watch them on TV, you can always watch them on YouTube. There are plenty of them on YouTube. They're great. Okay. I hope I covered everything, right? I gave you all of the movies, right, that I hope that you'll watch over the weekend and do that. And by the way, I just want to say once again, I have very happy. This is a great day. Happy Juneteenth. Juneteenth. I want to mention the fact that our president, Joe Biden, has passed a bill today that Juneteenth, which goes back to 1865, that's 156 years ago. Juneteenth is now a national holiday as of now. Now, being that's a national holiday, I wonder if people are going to be taking off tomorrow. I wonder if the streets are going to be empty tomorrow because people are not going to work because now it's a national holiday. But the actual date is June 19th, which is Saturday. But since it's a holiday now, the holiday's in existence, I guess a lot of people will be celebrating tomorrow, you know. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. I've had a good time, but I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow along with Brian and DJ Pete. He's not going to be here, but he's part of the 2020 feature. Brian will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. I will be covering the other half with DJ Pete, giving you all the birthdays and all of the jabber about who's who in show business and the birthdays and everything. That's coming on tomorrow. Also, don't forget to check out my podcast, The Blue Cafe. Go up here if you're watching on YouTube. It's in the chat area, but if you're watching Facebook, it's up in there at the very bottom. It says Blue Cafe and has the link directly to it. Listen to all of the 3 interviews that's there. Other than that, I'll be back here next week, same time, at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. I thank you so much for being with us. I want to wish you guys the very best. And by the way, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. That's coming up too. So there's a lot to do. Take your father out for a nice meal or something and enjoy the day with him. Happy Father's Day, and happy Father's Day to you and you and you and you and you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night, and stay safe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.